And we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another scene set in the Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire the Requiem for London. Tonight, we set our scene of Julian T. Goodman, who has been assigned a task from Dr. Stanton. Twilight Judge of the Order of Dracul, who has, in his infinite wisdom, ordered Julian to bring Delphine Paquette to him, a mid to high ranking member of the Sworn of the Mysteries.
You will ask the obvious question of, is she
Oh,
hostile?
he doesn't. Oh no, that he answers this before you even ask the question. He tells you he doesn't really care how you bring her in, so long as she is awake and not torpid. He does not want to have to spend time waking up this kindred.
He nods. Her location?
He says he already expects you to know that.
Okay.
You can actually roll me intelligence plus politics if you like, or streetwise. Either one is appropriate here.
Alright, let's see.
She's hardly a hidden figure.
No. So, intelligence plus, let's see. Did I finally get that dot in politics? No, but I do have a dot in streetwise. So. Three successes.
Okay. She can be found. She can be found at the King's College. But recently, she hasn't been seen in the Lambeth campus, or the Waterloo campus, rather. Recently, she's been seen on the other side of the river. Where the bulk of the college actually is. She's also been seen in the city of London as of late, which is a place few kindred are permitted to go to. And while she is politically connected, you don't know if she has permission or not.
He nods. I'll make it so. that, he begins first just kind of going through the gambit of the college. Then he wants to go to the city of London last, since it's supposed to be so exclusive. And he's hoping that he might just get lucky and she'll be in one of the more obvious, more friendly spots to be in. But
Okay, so sorry, where were we going?
I was going to go to it was King's College first, then
Okay, yeah.
because he wants to go to the city of London last, and hoping that she might just be the more friendly spot. If not, maybe just gather more information for her. He has to eventually maybe have to go to that spot.
Wow. You venture for our King's College on the north side. Let's say Fugioto, not their domain. And you don't immediately see her as you explore the campus. You spend a good 10-20 minutes there, but it appears she is not here.
Anybody around, or this place seems rather empty at this time of night?
This campus security.
And with that, he sees this as a dead end. And sigh and go, okay, it can't be that easy. And we'll begin moving towards the city of London.
So you start walking down through the city of London, which for you is probably the safest way to get there. London Underground has a lot of
Checkpoints?
a lot of surveillance, which would not be something you'd want to be tracked on, given you're heading into ostensibly the prince's private domain. Something that has remained as such even throughout this war. Not even the Carthians have breached the city of London. Some of them have tried to trapeze on through, but the consequences have always been swift and brutal. But you begin heading through, and there are a lot of places you can go to here. There's the St. Paul's Cathedral. There's the Central Criminal Court. There's the Museum of London. The Tower of London rests right next to it.
He'll start in a location that he's somewhat familiar with the Museum of London, and begin searching about.
Okay. So, Museum of London is temporarily closed.
Okay. And there's no obvious smells of vitae in the air.
Not that you can smell.
All right. And he will proceed on to the next viable spot, searching for her. There's no reason to bring any notice to him and try to break into the museum, and more than likely can't. He's not that kind of person.
Hmm. So, head to the other locations. And you don't initially find anything there. It's actually when you reach the Tower of London that you begin to sense the presence of kindred beast.
How active is the area right now?
Quiet.
Hmm.
Tower of London itself is temporarily closed, but you do see Miss Paquette appears to be studying location.
He looks over to her and nods and greeting.
Evening, Dr. Goodman.
Evening. What brings interest to you in the tower?
I'm curious. I've been keeping a small portfolio of politically sensitive locations and been keeping tabs on the ones with strange histories and occurrences.
You know, it's anything you're willing to share.
Hmm. I'm not sure yet. I've been hearing some strange news from some of my less pale colleagues. I was going to examine the tower. I don't know if you wanted to join me.
You know, it's no reason not to. And if I remember correctly, I'm looking for her, correct? Or is it Delphine Paquette or Delphine? Yeah,
Delphine.
Delphine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he'll look with her.
So, the Tower of London is a pretty important landmark. It's not just left alone. So it has a fair degree of security. Right now, the field that the small sort of strip of the small moat of grass that surrounds the tower. The tower is closer to a fort than it is just a straight tower. It's basically it's closer to a keep than it is a tower. In fact, that would be the best way of putting it. It's a fort effectively, with multiple layers of walls. With multiple towers along the walls, with the main structure inside the innermost ring.
Julian takes note of this, that there is. Oh, he is rather impressed with the architecture. He doesn't go here often, if not at all.
It is actually noteworthy. It's very much a piece of very old London, very old. And you can see that it is maintained by a manner of security, but Delphine doesn't really seem phased. Well, if you wouldn't mind following me.
Should be no problem. Yes, he does.
Okay. So, Delphine will walk to the front of the keep itself. Through through the entrance known as Traitor's Gate. And she just takes out a key. Or rather, a whole set of keys. Very large set, actually. Held together very for a large metal ring. Almost twice the circumference of her wrist.
There's a look of surprise and impress from this display.
Paperwork has its purpose.
I never doubt the power of bureaucracy.
She opens up the door. Here it does have a skeleton crew of a security body, but it's not exactly expecting people to break in here. In fact, it'd be pretty difficult just based on the way this place is structured. But she begins walking around first the sort of innermost ring, as she just takes you into the where the main tower structure is. But she begins to head inside.
He follows and kind of realizes that the security doesn't like notice the door open or anything, right? Or do they not care?
No, she closes the door and locks it behind her. Anyone who approaches you, she just flashes with an ID and a permit that states she's allowed to be here and have this attire, and simply states that you are with her, as it were.
Okay. No, yeah, he just follows her. No muss.
But, yeah. She pays intricate attention to some of the carvings on the on some of the specific towers. The London Tower itself is pretty it's pretty, how to say, it's a tourist attraction. That's the only way I can really describe it. It's not just a historical landmark. A lot of it has been refitted to serve as a tourist trap. It has a small museum. It has a collection of the crown jewels. There is there's parking spaces for transfer taxis. There's a small cafe inside. So
He asks, Julian will ask, as they're walking around, nothing seems too out of the ordinary right now.
no, I'm beginning to wonder if this is just all hearsay and rumor. She looks around, gazes the interior that you're in. You're in the tower proper.
Was there any particular thing you're supposed to notice? A symbol, a smell?
Nothing particularly specific.
Hmm.
Just strange bouts of depression and flickering lights. Can't really test the first one without, well, unless we are the test subjects. But it could just be one of a member of the security body having an episode. As for the
Possibly.
flickering lights, well, that's a bit harder to dismiss, but it could just be more nonsense.
With that being the case, Julian's gonna take the time as they begin moving to really more or less pay attention, extending his senses, looking for anything that might be unusual, or really of any interest.
Um, so, make me a wits plus a cult roll.
And would my heightened senses come into play?
Yes.
Right, 2 successes.
Okay. So, as you begin to traverse throughout the tower proper, you begin to notice an odd tint to the braziers along the walls that are now largely unused. Rather, they should be unused. They're still lit, although they don't appear to be going on any fuel.
Julian focuses on that for a minute and points that out to Delphine.
That's odd. She takes notes of it. She examines it quite closely. Doesn't really seem to care for the flames at all. She even puts her hand in it.
He looks a
Comes out.
bit.
Oh, sorry.
He looks a bit in shock that she just puts her hands in it.
Comes out slightly burned, but not as bad as he would have expected. It's true fire. It's not an illusion. And it's no... It is no false sign. I'm aware of two major entities capable of constructing constructing fire like this.
Julian nods and says, I'm listening.
Well, either it is a witch or it is a spirit or several of them.
I see, but for what purpose?
Well, I suppose we should find whoever is behind this and ask them.
That would be the most direct path, and a voice filled with a little bit of levity. And as they're having this moment, Julian will, and just because I apparently have a fresh brain's memory, I am looking for her, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
You're just currently joining her on some sort of weird expedition.
You will sorry.
It's quite clear she suspects this place to be a worm's nest.
I was going to ask possibly later on if there's a sense of feng shui in here, since apparently that is a thing for us.
Well, there's no... At least nobody has set this place up in a geomantic fashion. You're not sure if there is any confluence of geomantic power here. That would require you to do some proper research into this place.
But if there's like a table or a beam for something for Julian and Leon, he'll begin leaning on it and says, I hear you haven't been too talkative to the other members of the Mysteries.
Who told you that? She just says as she sort of starts going over the prisons and examining each and every one.
A concerned member of the Ordo.
I don't care much for the rumor mill. There are individuals that are worth my time, and there are those that aren't.
I can respect that, but they are concerned about your interest with our particular conflict right now. They want to know that you're still a valuable asset to them.
Is somebody questioning my loyalty?
Unfortunately, yes.
This actually gets her full attention.
Was it Dr. Beckett or Brickett? Sorry, I don't know why I can't remember anything. Ah.
One second. Because I want to spell it correctly, because I've made this difficult for myself than I needed to. Okay, so spelled like this. There you go.
Okay. No, I thought she was Delphine Paquette.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the doctor that asked me to look for her.
Oh, Stanton.
Stanton, sorry. No, he says Dr. Stanton.
That captures her full attention. Again, her eyes narrow into slits.
He says, I was like, despite my reputation, I don't enjoy just breaking things. That's why I didn't just try to attack you at the bottom of the tower, nor am I trying to do it now because we're quote unquote more isolated. He said, if we'd come in, answer the questions, it's like it makes our lives a lot easier. Now, obviously, you have objections, like, do please tell me, and I will think of the best solution for us.
Do you even know who you're talking about?
He says, to be honest, no, not really.
Stanton hasn't been seen in this domain for centuries. Who is he to question my loyalty?
He nods. I know. But I'm simply doing my task. I was asked to do.
And if he has returned to this domain, why has he not made himself known to the Ordo?
Who wouldn't tell you?
When did you last meet with him?
Not. We've been here for about, 40 minutes, an hour? And went to some other location that you might be at for about another hour and a half. So.
He asked you to acquire me for a purpose.
Yes, ma'am.
She says as she sort of goes back to examining prisons. You noticed a lot of them have, or some of them rather have, carvings where people have drawn into the wood of a stone. In one of the cells, there is a large list of names. In another, there's a tally and a series of initials. Although some appear more faded than others. In fact, some appear well taken care of, in a sense, and that they are clear and visible and easy to read, while the others that are faded are, well, have just become less visible as time has gone on.
Julian looks at these particular carvings with interest. He moves closer, but not necessarily closer to Delphine. They get a better look at them.
You and Delphine approach you can you make me a resolve plus composure plus blood potency roll?
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Well, I hope this isn't important.
What did you get?
0 successes.
Oh dear, okay. Yeah, then a wave of hysteria and fear and sadness strikes you as you approach the area around the carvings. As you sort of just approach the sort of right half of the cell where they are. You're not even really that close. You're about 5 yards away from them. Could you make me a resist frenzy check? Particularly fear frenzy check at a -2 dice penalty.
Gotcha. Unfortunately, I did not prepare my scale today, so I just have to roll this. 2 successes.
Okay, then you push back your beast, you gain Tempted 1. But you hold back the sudden urge to flee and the sudden wave of fear. Delphine viscerally reacts as well. You can tell that she felt it, although she doesn't react as strongly as you, and her beast doesn't rouse to frenzy.
And their gritted teeth. Julian goes, I think you're onto something. As he tries his best to compose himself. But his his nails almost seem like they go in and out from nearly going into frenzy, that state of frenzy.
Why are these guarded? You begin reading off on their names. You assume they're the names of prisoners.
Hmm. Yes. Julia responds, do you think someone laid a curse here? Maybe the steel of the tower is made out of bone of dead prisoners. I don't know. I'm throwing just shit at the wall right now.
She thinks to herself for a moment and see her stare at the room. And then a look of not revelation, more understanding appears on her eyes, like she has discovered something. Ah, these are as gravestones.
Julian looks a little perplexed and says, so my latter statement might actually be correct. He continues, but people make minor gestures of, remembrance and all types of things. It doesn't mean it actually has power in it.
No. I wonder what would happen. And she begins, she takes out like a small Swiss Army knife. Takes out what appears to be like the screwdriver implement of the Swiss Army knife, and just applies it to one of the names, to the top name. Goes to jam the screwdriver into it, but stops at the last second. You see her go up in sort of bluish white flame briefly.
The screwdriver or her?
Oh, her.
Yeah. There is a... He hisses in concern and goes, Miss Paquette.
It's yeah, she you notice her skin is unnaturally scarred, but you can see the scars begin to recede. She expends her vitae. I am fine, I am fine. If nothing else, this proves my suspicion. This is a haunted location. This is not the construct of a mage. I suppose it only makes sense, given the nature of this place. Although I wouldn't have imagined many would have remained here.
But I don't understand. This place is so public, and surely guests and staff move around here all the time. Why hasn't anything been brought up sooner?
Maybe that is the point. Those names, every tourist that will go through here will see those names and remember them, even if only for a day or a week. I don't know how much you know about the dead. I myself am no savant, but I have picked up some basic knowledge for osmosis, and some board tutelage.
He nods. I typically deal with the living, or the past, to be honest.
Well, for whatever reason, ghosts appear, at least in the time that I have been undead. They wish to be remembered. Maybe this is their way of being remembered. You rarely encounter old ghosts for this reason. I suspect remembrance has something to do with their condition, and when there is not sufficient remembrance, if it could be given a metric at all, they must go elsewhere? Clearly there is some limitation to the spirits of the dead, otherwise the entire planet would be haunted. And ghosts stick to specific locations, and there aren't that many of them, at least. At least not in Twilight. But we have one here that is.
Then I'd say we should probably look up the records of unfortunate passings around this place. And I thought I've heard rumors that the haunts are relatively good at this particular task.
Every now and again I hear rumors. But no. This is a restricted place. If one wished to interact with this being, they would need to come during opening hours, and well, too many people. During closing hours, this place is kept under lock and key. It takes a great deal of effort to gain access to, I would know. After all, the crown jewels are just a block away. But this is good. Unfortunately, I lack the means to communicate with it. They are watching us, and they should know that we're no threat to them at this point.
Doesn't mean they don't want us to respect our boundaries.
But they know they can't hurt us now. It appears my contacts were quite right. This place is a worm's nest. I'll need to investigate it further.
This will be difficult to particularly, let's just say, utilize. It's hard to just...
Yes and no. For the average Ordo that remains stuck within the ivory tower, perhaps, I am not one of those kindred. It is on the Sworn of the Mysteries to locate such places of power to begin with. Can hardly afford to be lounging around.
Nods.
But first, this issue of Stanton. You understand who he is, yes?
I understand he is a conflicting figure of great wisdom, knowledge, power, and fear.
That sounds very Slavish. Although I am surprised you have asked me to come with you willingly as opposed to violently. Do you know? No, you said you didn't, did you? You don't know why he has not revealed himself.
Nope.
I'm immediately inclined to mistrust elders that hide.
Don't see many elders that don't try to hide.
You're not wrong. The prince and the Kogan are much the same. Still, I have no interest in being a pawn in some game of an elder. Do you know why they wish for me?
They want to, as I said, they have questions. Make sure that you're on the same team. There have been cases of supposed betrayal, and scrutiny is apparently advised. Obviously, as slavish as I may seem, I'm honestly not a slave to this particular individual to enough just to beat you unconscious and bring him to you. Or bring him to you. Or you to him. Blah.
That would not be advised in any case. Make me a presence or manipulation plus persuasion roll. Because she is persuadable.
I actually do have persuasion.
Your forthrightness actually offsets any penalties you'd otherwise receive.
Yep. And I'll spend. Well, let's see if I have any willpower to spend. That'll do. So, yep, I'll roll and spend a willpower.
All right.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Wait, is that with a willpower?
Yep.
Well, she's not
what it
particularly
is.
convinced. But she's pretty wary of having you take her to an elder of significant power whom she knows could do great harm to her in a private situation.
Well, he responds, well, as far as I know, he's not directly watching me. If you feel that you need to bring up protections for yourself, then meet him, that's perfectly fine. The main thing, as long as you show up, I've accomplished my side of the deal.
I will meet him 72 hours from now. I will give you a location that you can give to him. And I will have my precautions in place should he attempt to perform actions I would otherwise deem dissuadable.
He nods.
I respect him, of course, as the founder of our order here. But I'm also no fool. And if he wishes to do harm to me, he may know that I may reveal his presence within the domain at any time. Clearly, he does not wish to be found.
I'll make sure to let him know.
But I am willing to speak with him. I have my own concerns regarding loyalty within the Order.
I said, he nods. I appreciate your cooperation, Miss Piquant.
Bar means you have been... Sorry, she'll say, Well, you have been most helpful to me. I'd like to see if this place could become a true chapter house. I'm curious to see if there are any other spirits here. There are more names listed.
Julian looks over to the beam and with a little bit of sadness on his face. It will be an interesting venture, obviously. But I know this is not typically our MO, but we should give the dead their due respect. It's probably easier that way.
What the dead want and what the dead need are often very different things. Either way, we have our own priorities. I'm sure what they can offer us will be of great value in our own work. Although I'll need to get in touch with a member of the Dying Light.
And if that's all, I wish you a good evening, Miss Paquette.
I'll see you out, otherwise security may get aggressive.
Yes, ma'am.
This is, after all, a very, very important historical landmark.
Indeed, and the crown jewels are only a block away.
She will walk you to the entrance, at which point she will see you off. She remains inside the tower.
So, not unusual from what I said. It's one of the safest places for her to be in. And Goodman will return to Dr. Stanton.
I think with that, we can end our scene there. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.